This is a more detailed look at Stock Central and how to activate some of the finite controls. Okay. So we're going to start inside of Stock Central, which is located in the Autumn inventory under Stock Central. You can access it on the left-hand side or up here by clicking Stock Central. In the primer, I detailed what all of these things are. Okay, so what we're gonna do in this video is look at how to activate some of the data. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is create a brand new product. Okay, the reason why we're starting here is because you probably will never create a new product, but in the off chance that you do, where you need to be able to activate Autumn. Okay, it's really easy. I'm not going to populate all of this data, but there's a tab under the product data called Autumn Inventory. You just have to turn it on. That's it. Thank God, right? Okay, so the other thing is that say you create it and that is off. So I'm just going to call this test product real quick. We'll publish it. Hopefully that is enough information to publish it. Okay, I'm going to go over to Stock Central. In the primer, I showed you that my uncontrolled was 0. So now it should be 1. We should see that, yes, there it is. So we know that this is working, and here's that test product that I just created. So we can select that and then also enable Autumn stock control. So say for some reason you enter into Stock Central and you are missing products. There, you know that you've created them. They should be in here. There's a couple things that you want to look for: an actual inventory number, right? The current stock. This has to be more than 0. And then the other thing is to check to see if Autumn is actually turned on. So instead of going one by one, like say you had 10 products missing, you could simply go to show uncontrolled. They would all be listed here. You could select this check mark box and it would select all of the products, and then you could do the bulk action of enabling all of them to have Autumn's control. Okay, so that's what this dialog box really does more than anything, or that, whatever it's called, screen. Okay, so now let's look at this product. Okay, so we're in a simple product. This is a brand new product. Okay, and we're going to look at the key things that we need to enable for it to function. Okay, so for it to show up on the website, we're going to need a regular price and some amount of inventory. Okay, so if you click the Enable Stock Management at product level, it will pop open these dialog boxes and you can add stock here. Okay, so we'll just put 10. Now you can see below, because we have the Autumn inventory turned on, that we have our out of stock threshold. So this actually is 0 in my store. Oh no, it's 0 in your store as well. The low stock threshold is 2. Okay, I got confused. So you can select your supplier. And if you assign SKUs to the supplier, you can access it there. Okay, and so we have Autumn inventory, and And under general, we also have the purchase price, okay, which is going to reflect here. And that's really it. So there's not a lot of areas that will pull into the Stock Central, okay? Just because I have it limited. If we open this up in screen options, you can see the different items that will come into Stock Central from the other areas, okay? So we're gonna go look at those real quick, like purchasing orders. So we're going to add a new PO. Actually, we can just click in here probably and edit this PO. So what this does, or what you can do, is create a purchasing order, and it will pull from the out of stock items. So if we just click add item, and then it tells you that only products linked to the OC Farm supplier can be searched. That's because it's a purchase order for OC Farm, okay? So the custom fields, you never have to worry about that. But we did talk about the screen options, okay? So if we click this, we can see that custom fields here is selected, and Revolution slider options. We're gonna unselect that, okay? And then just close that, and now we only have the purchase order information, okay? So you can add a description, you can add notes, right? And then in Stock Central, you can activate that, okay? So I'm going to activate this screen option of purchase orders. Let's see. Inbound stock. I believe that's it, okay? So let's see, let's go back to purchase orders real quick, and we're going to look for that specific product, okay, just to make sure that this is working. And we have Fruity Pebbles Dablicator, right? We're looking at 15 of them. Go back to Stock Central. Most of the time, you don't have to type in the entire word. You can just, here it is here, the 15, okay? So, like I said in the primer, I jumped around a little bit there. I do have ADHD. Okay, so let me finish my first thought was in the search. You often don't have to type out the words fully. Okay, you can truncate them and just type partial words. Like this one, I typed Fruity Peb, which is the beginning of Fruity Pebbles. Okay, right? So that's why it was able to pull up. So sorry about that. All right, now we see that the inbound stock is 15. Okay? And the benefit of this really is being able to forecast. I do all of this in my head, and I have purchasing cycles that I subscribe to religiously, and and triggers. So like we'll take OC Farm for example. I have a guy that purchases 30 Dablicators a month. So he's a trigger. So when he puts his order in, I know that I have to resupply. And so what I did was I tried to get enough inventory to make it to that marker of his purchase point. Currently, that needs to be readjusted because we have an uptick in Dablicator sales. So I'm going to have to start purchasing more. But what I was doing was going down and filling out the inventory to an X amount, meaning I would count the inventory on hand and then order up until like 9. So if I had 5 and I needed 9, I would order 4. And that has been working, but like I said, with the uptick, it needs to be adjusted at this point. So that's all in my head, right? This takes that from my head and puts it into the computer, right? And will allow you to forecast a little bit better and see, which things you're going to need to purchase more quickly than others. The other thing to keep in mind is that you have to manage your minimums, meaning that each vendor will have a different minimum and delivery requirements. So one vendor may be $1,000 minimum with a delivery day on Wednesdays only for the IE. So you will have to incorporate that into your purchasing cycle. Some of them may be, $500 with a $50 delivery fee. Anytime in the IE, different things like that. So creating purchasing orders should allow you to manage that externally and simply. Like I said, I do it in my head, and I'm looking at inventory every day, talking to Adrian about inventory every day. And even doing that, we still fail in our audits. We were just talking about it yesterday. We've come a long way in managing what we actually have to reflect in the computer, but we're finding there's still little pockets of products that are not making it on or are not updated correctly because of text and different factors that go into it, like processing the orders completely. It won't take the stock out if you don't process the order to completed. It will keep it in a state of being delivered. So we learned that the hard way. But there's a lot of factors that go into this. So also, once you create the purchase orders, you can go into your inbound stock and look at it here. Okay? And that will help too. So if you're looking to really flesh out the data, then you're going to want to build out your suppliers. And that's going to reflect in Stock Central if you turn on that screen option for suppliers, which is here. Okay, so it tells you who the supplier is, just like that. Okay? This, again, is essential if you're having someone manage it. If you get to the point where you're going to hand this off to someone to really, to do all of these things, to be your purchaser, you're going to want to have these things filled out completely, and you're going to want to enforce them, enforce that aspect of their job, that they have to, do the purchase orders completely, fill out new suppliers, create inventory logs for you, that type of thing. If it's just the two of you for some time, like a year or so, maybe more, it's negligible because it's extra work. So it just depends on how you perform in managing your inventory, right? If the two of you can come together and be a team to manage that inventory, you may not need to do these extra steps. But then again, with your the responsibilities that you have in life and the situation around you guys, it may be better to start this way. It's a decision you should think about. It's going to be a little bit more work in the beginning, but at the end, it may be easier for you guys. So I would think on that. Anyway, that is Stock Central.